though your idle animation is the most important animation in your game, obviously the other animations are important too. So today I want to talk about the jog animation, some practical things you can do to make interesting, appealing, and character-specific jog cycles. If you're new to my channel, my name's Libby. I'm a professional animator at Industrial Light and Magic, and I'm currently working on my own indie game in my free time. For the jog animation, it's really important always to start from real life. So you want to shoot video reference of yourself or find video reference online, whatever works best for your character, and study it. You want to understand when weight is being taken, where's the balance, how is energy flowing through the body. I'm not going to go through the mechanics of a jog cycle, but frame through it, study it, understand where the weight is coming from and where it is being transferred throughout the cycle. Now that you have solid reference, it's important to understand how to exaggerate, how to push the video reference in order to make the animation feel good. Because if you just copy video reference one-to-one, it's going to feel off and it's going to feel stale and it's just not going to feel very character specific. So first, what you want to try and do is push the weight and the timing. So you want to make sure the weight of the character is still accurate to who they are. So if it's a heavy character like Bowser, for example, if you were to push the timing so much where then he becomes super light and bouncy like Mario, obviously that would feel weird. So you don't want to do that. But you do want to make interesting timing. So don't have even timing. Have higher hang times, shorter fall times, and push it. Don't have every single step and every up and down be the same length. Like you could make one, say one step is 11 frames, the next one is 12. You know what I mean? Like they don't have to be exactly even. What you can also do is push the posing. I've gone over this in the idle animation, so feel free to watch that if you want additional details. But essentially, you can push your jog poses, clean line of action, better silhouette, better balance, and weight. Now, the important thing about balance here is in the run cycle, because you're moving forward, you're actually going to be off balance. So if the character weren't moving forward, they would fall over. So that's where studying your video reference is really important, because you see like where character gathers themselves and launches off and when they're technically off balance versus when they're on balance. But making sure that overall the mechanics are sound is important. You want to make sure you have nice clean arcs. This is especially helpful for game animation because if you have your arcs clean and they're working from all angles, it can really help the player track where their character is. If it's all jank and linear, it breaks immersion and it doesn't help guide the player's eye, so it's just easier for them to track their character moving throughout the world. Another thing is that's related to weight but is helpful for fluidity is overlap. You can exaggerate it more than what's in your reference because that can help sell the weight and the impact and really help with game feel, because your character feels like more that they're moving when they're traversing around the world if you exaggerate the overlap. Another thing you can do to bring specificity within your jog cycle is to give your character a distinctive leading edge. So let me show you the animation I did for my pumpkin character in my game. So you'll see how he has his left arm kind of whip forward just a tiny bit more than his right arm. I actually got this inspiration from 2B's run cycle. She does this where she'll lead the action with her left arm and she leads it as she goes back. However, she does not do that with her right arm, as you see. And that creates very dynamic and interesting way to offset it through posing instead of through timing. Because they kind of hit at the same time. You'll see the extremes of the arms hit around the same frames, but the easing in and the easing out is different. So that's a way you can do it by leading edge, what part of the body leads the action. And you can also see a way that I made my run cycle specific on my character is I wanted his arms to whip forward like vines because he's, a walking vegetable. So I did a lot of specific overlap and breaking of the joints as he moves forward, and it gives him a lot of specificity and makes his run cycle very unique compared to other ones. And very important specifically for game animation is you want to make sure that your jog cycle starts from the passing position in your cycle. Now, again, there's contact down, passing up. Normally in film, you start in that order, contact down, passing up. That's how you do your cycles. But because we want this cycle to blend cleanly from the idle pose, we don't want to start it from the contact. Because if you're already standing in the idle and then you start in a contact, like their feet are going to slide weird. So what you actually want to do is start them in the passing position that flows naturally from whatever your idle position is. And so then it blends super fluidly from the idle to the jog, and that's what you want. Now let me go ahead and show you a practical example on how you can improve a jog cycle. So here we have Jack again. He's ready for an anim update. So I have the idle that I did. You can check out the last video if you want to see how I transformed that. And then it goes into his current jog cycle, which, as you can see, it's not really telling me a ton about his personality. Same issue with the idol. He's supposed to be a military guy, but he doesn't look very tough. What can we do to improve this? Things that I mentioned in the video. I'll push his poses. I will edit a little bit of the timing. I'll try and give him some more overlap, some more up and down in the body, just trying to make him a little bit more fluid so it feels more responsive when he's walking around. And here's the update. So what were the changes I made? One of the big ones is I added more squash and stretch and more compression in his spine. So if you look at his spine, he goes in a nice C shape this way when he's in the air. And then when he lands, he has a nice C shape the opposite direction. And this change in his spine, by exaggerating the poses, gives him more squash and stretch. I also exaggerated the up and down. I made him go higher, and he has more hang time when he's in the air, and he bounces up faster when he's lower. So I changed the timing on there. I also picked up his feet, brought them out in silhouette, made them go higher, and gave them cleaner arcs. Did the same thing with the arms. Added more overlap on his head to, again, sell that compression. And then the final thing I did is I made the passing position blend better from the idle. So this is the passing, this is the idle. You can see when I press play that this feels more fluid. And so this is how the game engine's going to do it. It'll start from this idle, and then it'll just blend based upon however the developer puts parameters in to here. So this feels a lot better and a lot less poppy than the one before. That's all I have for you today. I'll be releasing more game animation tips, as well as releasing some courses in the near future, so stay tuned for that. If you are willing to playtest the game I'm working on, please sign up via the email subscription in the link below. I appreciate your feedback. It'll help me make the most fun game that I can. And as always, happy animating!